Today I want to talk about running Windows on the M1 Mac. And for those wondering, it runs really well. The method we're using today is the Parallels desktop for Mac, which has recently released a technical preview that is optimized for Mac computers powered by the Apple M1 chip. Now for the moment this is completely free to download and test, and you can find the serial number on the download page. Similarly, there is a version of Windows optimized for ARM-based systems that is available as a preview for download on the Microsoft website. That means you can test out this combination totally free for a limited period. And the best part is that Microsoft has released the first preview of x64 emulation for ARM64 devices to Windows insiders this December. What this means is that older programs designed specifically for x64 and x86 systems will now be able to run on the ARM-based Windows machines. This is a big deal because people who initially thought that by buying the M1 Mac computers they were kissing goodbye to the ability to run Windows in any form should now be able to achieve pretty much any basic task they wish to achieve with Windows, with the exception of resource-heavy programs. That means obviously you cannot run Boot Camp on these computers and run Windows natively, but the performance of Parallels Desktop is generally so good that for 90% of users wanting to run Windows for a specific app or program will be really pleased with the results. Installation is fairly easy, and literally you just have to download the Parallels preview for the Mac with M1 chips and similarly download the x64 emulation ARM64 Windows preview. Once you've done that, the Parallels Desktop for Mac app will look for installation files for Windows systems, and once it finds this, it will do a completely automated install in no time whatsoever. And once you're up and running, all your drivers and integration with the system is done automatically. That means once you enter full screen mode, Windows will adjust the resolution to the native resolution of the screen you are running it on. When you're running this program in full screen mode, it performs so well that you could almost be fooled into thinking that this is actually a Windows computer. Performance is generally snappy and most apps open quickly and run efficiently, with the exception of Google Chrome, which continues to be a resource hog and is generally slower to respond than if you were running this natively on the macOS platform. But it is certainly usable and not something that most people using it in this configuration will complain about. The Microsoft Edge browser behaved much better than Chrome when using it via Parallels Desktop. Another aspect I wanted to show you was the coherence mode. So if we open the Edge browser and if we go back to windowed mode here, we can press this little blue icon here to enter coherence mode. And now you can see that the Edge browser is just one other app on the dock itself. So you could be using your macOS as normal, and if you wanted, you could just go to the Edge browser, which behaves like an app on the macOS itself. And it works pretty well. So if there's a particular browser that's only available on Windows, or if there's any one program that's only available on Windows, you can use this to run these kind of programs. Now to exit coherence mode, you just secondary click on the Windows logo, go to View and Exit Coherence. And then you get the windowed mode back and you can go back to full screen. It will take a split second to adjust back to the correct resolution. Now I'm not much of a gamer, but just to test a slightly more graphics intensive application, I decided to dust off one of my older titles, Age of Empires 3. Which in its definitive edition was advertised by Parallels Desktop to run really well on the platform. Installation took its own sweet time, and when I launched the game, a warning about the minimum system requirement of a 64 MB video card and the system having just 32 MB was shown. But you could ignore that, and once you get past that, there were no issues whatsoever running the game. Some adjustments were needed to change the graphics properties to match the resolution of the screen I was playing it on, but once that was done, even with the high detail settings, there were no issues in gameplay, and it was very responsive and playable. Obviously, a lot of people will have different programs they will want to run on this system, but looking at the way things run on Parallels Desktop, most people should have little to complain about. Overall, this is a huge moment for M1 based Macs because these are signs of even the most obscure and seemingly unobtainable programs now being able to run on this system, and it only goes further to strengthen the M1 Mac proposition. In fact, performance is generally in line with what we've seen previously with these super speedy processors, and they just give a boost to whatever you choose to run on them, virtual machine or not. If this is something you're looking to do, I highly recommend Parallels Desktop for Mac and running an ARM64 based Windows edition on it once it gets released as a final version. Please consider subscribing if you liked this video, and I will see you in my next one.